for joining us on today's edition of Allyxtalk Africa. And today I'm your anchor person on the program, and I have a very interesting personality here with me. I'm Dolapo Akintoye, and I will be taking you into the world of Lanre Esho, Films, as it tells us what we need to know about wedding and event cinematography. He is a professional in it, and he helps you tell your wedding story in such a way that it looks like a movie, you know. And we will be talking with him today, finding out how to go into this line of business, what are the challenges that you might go through, and what are the things you need to know before you even delve into this. And I recently was awarded with the Event Videographer of the Year 2017 by the Association of Professional Wedding Organizers and Event Managers in Nigeria. So thank you for coming on Allyxtalk. Lanre Esho.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so what does it mean to be a professional wedding cinematographer?
Well, a professional cinematographer is someone that tells stories with a camera, with a lens, and all of that. It's a creative process. It's a world of telling stories with moving images. And there's a big difference between cinematography and just a regular video guy and all of that. Cinematography is a tool to tell stories. It has been in existence for a very long time. Cinematographers are powerful with their tools. When you go to the movies and you sit down to watch a 2-hour film and you're at the edge of your seat, it's probably someone who has shot a very fantastic film. So cinematography is basically telling stories with your lenses. If you now say, who is a cinematographer? Is someone that actually operates the camera, who decides what kind of camera, who decides the frame rate. Okay, let me not get too technical, but but who decides how he wants to capture a moment in time, you know, on film or stills or whatever it is. But basically, that's the job of a cinematographer, to capture images, basically, and to tell stories with it.
So what's the difference between cinematography and video coverage?
Oh yeah, so a big difference. Back in the days, videographers were just, had the Sony cameras that they could just go to an event with and capture the whole thing and just render it on a DVD for you, you know, and that's it. You know, chronological kind of capturing from beginning to the end, basically. But cinematography is telling a story. You can tell, I wouldn't say it's just cinematography. Cinematography is part of a larger production. It's not just a cinematographer's job. It's one of the elements of filmmaking, basically. So, but what the ultimate goal of cinematography or making a film is basically to tell a story. You can actually start a story from the end and work your way back. Someone is shot, someone dies at the beginning of the film, then you now roll all the way to the beginning of that story to tell how that thing happened. That is exactly, that is cinematography. You know, and that's a major difference between just some coverage and cinematography, basically.
I'm already feeling like I'm seeing a movie. So what's the place of training and expertise in this line of business? You know, right now we have a lot of young guys, young girls coming into this industry without any particular training or tutelage you might have gone through. So what's the place of training? Or is it okay to learn on the job, or you go for a training before you now delve into this business?
I'll recommend both ways. If you have the means, go to a film school. Go to a film school. You will learn a lot from going to a film school. Personally, I didn't go to a film school, even though, yes, I had a mass comm background, but I didn't really learned so much about what I do now from school. I will say I learned the basics in school, but I learned a big chunk of it online. I'm a student of the internet, basically. I learned most of what I know today from the internet, YouTube, tutorials online and whatnot. So for someone who is getting into this industry for the first time, like I said, if you have the means to go to school, please do. If you do not have the means, look for those materials, go online, search for them. And I mean, we're in the time and age that the internet is so blessed with so many information now that there is absolutely nothing you're looking for that you can find online. Some of them, in fact, quite a lot of them are free. Some you'll probably have to pay some money to get those information. But by the time you quantify it to how much you will have spent in school, it is a fraction of the cost. So you can learn practically everything you need to learn in the world of cinema generally, be it for weddings or for films or for documentaries, irrespective of the aspect you want to go in. Even in broadcast, you know, you can learn a lot online, basically.
Okay, so cinematography and societal development, how can the two work together?
Well, for societal development, like again, I will say cinematography is one of the elements of filmmaking. So filmmaking generally, on the large, is from inception to tell a story, and those stories have helped shape the society, have helped shape the perspective of people. From the inception of television, people have used it to communicate in mass. People have used it politically, people have used it to sell propaganda, people have used it to spread love, people have used it to spread hate, you know. So, but it all comes down to what the what the end goal is, you know, for whoever is producing those content. That, okay, I'm trying to make this content, what do I want to achieve with it at the end of the day, basically.
Okay, so content and the role it has to play. What role does technology have to play in cinematography?
In terms of technology, technology is moving at a pace that has never been in the history of technology. Camera companies used to release maybe one camera in 2 years, but now they release 2-3 cameras in 1 year. And you want to, and in this part of the world, we really don't have access to a lot of those kind of technology yet. But what I usually say is this, the technology goes a long way to help you tell your stories, be it the camera, the audio equipment and whatnot. But the main role in this whole thing is to ensure that the technology is just a tool to tell a better story and not the other way around. A lot of people think that if you have the best camera or the best audio equipment and all of that, then it will just make movie, you know, magically for you. No, you have to understand the story you're about to tell. You have to be passionate about the story you want to tell. You have to you have to be really invested, even emotionally, into the project you want to do. Then the technology will just make the process easier for you, basically. So technology will definitely help you make a better product or a better content, but it's just a tool. The story is the king, the story you're trying to tell. And this cuts across anything you're doing, be it documentaries, films, wedding films or whatnot. It cuts across rather, yes.
Okay, so talking about telling stories, what's the place of your creativity as a cinematographer in interpreting the stories and telling them in the most convincing and real manner to viewers?
Well, I feel creativity is relative. Like they say, some people are born creative, some learn Some people are born great, some learn great and greatness, you know. Same with creativity. For someone like me, I used to be scared of the camera. And not literally, but I felt that what people did in films and all of that were just superlative, they're just out of this world, and I just felt I couldn't learn them. But with time and with studying, I realized that these things are possible. It's just for you to understand and apply the principles, basically. So when I started, I realized that, you know, these things are possible. I can actually make this thing happen. It's just that I need to keep at it, basically. You know, I need to constantly ensure that I'm owning my skills. And with time, I believe creativity comes with time and comes with experience. It comes with experience, which is time, and it comes with a lot of learning too. I mean, I consume YouTube contents on a daily basis. I consume materials online, books and whatnot constantly just to understand my craft and to implement them in the projects that I do.
You want to advise a young person that wants to come into this industry? What are those things that they are likely to come across? What are they supposed to arm themselves with in facing and surmounting these challenges?
Well, I'll talk about the field that I am, which is wedding cinematography. And I don't think there's any serious challenge you'll face if you want to come into wedding cinematography. What I'll tell anybody who wants to come into this field is understand what you are doing. Learn from someone if you can. If you cannot learn from someone, learn from the internet. There are tons of information out there you can learn to understand this whole process, and just constantly invest in the craft. Just like any other art there, hairdressing, carpentry and all of that, you know, you will constantly have to learn. You will constantly have to improve on your skill, on your marketing, on your customer service, on every aspect of what you need to make what you're doing excel, basically, or you know, you have to put all of these things together to ensure that you get better results, to ensure that you come on top, you know. So I don't think there's so many challenges. Thank God for social media. A lot of my clients come from social media and word of mouth. Those are my two basic source of clients. You know, I do a good job. I put it online. I put it on Instagram. I put it on Facebook. I put it on all the mediums I can, and people get to see what I do, and they contact me to do theirs too. So I believe strongly that whoever is coming into this industry or doing this can make it, as long as you put out good content. Your picture quality is good, your storytelling is on point, your audio is excellent. People don't need more than that you don't need more than that to shoot a wedding film.